Alright, what's going on, gamers? Gonna be doing a little more standard ladder. This is becoming the norm for us. I'm gonna try and play different decks as long as I think there's good decks to play, right? I don't, not that the rating on here is like particularly important or anything, but I'm just not really like that much of a for fun gamer anyways. I kind of want to make sure that the decks I'm both playing and showcasing are competitive, or at least seem competitive, right? Maybe my opinions will change as I play with them, especially if it's the first time I'm doing so. But, yeah, we've got a fun one today. Rocking the four-color control deck that's been somewhat popular for a little while now. Who doesn't love a good mystical teachings, right? A classic for an old boomer heart like my own. Kind of just looking at your generic control deck here, right? I mean, you've got Consult, Stock Up's Teachings as your card advantage engines. You could argue Revelation is a card advantage engine, but I think more often than not, that's just your win condition. Bunch of good counter spells, couple that are more on the efficient end, your Mana League variant, and then you've got your hard counters for some threats in the late game. You've got a great removal suite, Get Lost. Looks like you don't really mind giving your opponent the extra maps. Helix, Inevitable Defeat, that in some of the other slower matchups can serve as burn spells as well. One of Fire Magic to find off of the Teachings, one of the End to find off of Teachings. Yeah, I think this deck is pretty sweet. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Was so close to clicking play there on the Vivi. I'm sure everybody wanted to see that. Bingo. Math is for blockers. What a great name, actually. What a great name by our opponent. What do we think about this hand? Base blue, which means if we passage on white, we have access to both Get Lost and No More Lies, and then are only one land away from Helix. Then we're only one land away. We're only one red source away from Helix, one any source away from being able to sift off of 3 steps ahead. Or catalog, as it were. Yeah, I think this is, like, probably fine. I certainly don't think it's, like, special, but Watery Grave gives us the extra blue/black source. I think we're still pretty happy to lead on tapped white source here. That way we have access to both Get Lost and No More Lies next turn without paying any life. The Needlehead. I think we're pretty happy to pass. I kind of depends what the opponent plays, but I'll probably, if they play a threat beforehand, look to... See, that's interesting. I'm half tempted to, just because this is such a mana inefficient play and the board would be empty, I'm really tempted to just Get Lost the Needlehead now and take 4 damage and get to untap onto an empty board and then just normalize next turn. Use our life total as a resource a little bit. Then we can play this Watery Grave tapped. I think I like that line. Anytime you can play the control deck and set up the board state where you get to pass the turn on a clean board with open mana, that's usually a spot you're trying to set up. Day of Judgment, totally fine. I don't think I'm going to rush to play Catalog here. I don't think it's worth the 2 points of damage. We for sure don't want to miss land drops, but we're kind of hoping our opponent just plays like an... Oh, wow, nothing? Nothing is crazy. Nothing is crazy. What does that mean is in our opponent's hand? Just a bunch of burn? I think we're pretty happy to pass the turn here. I think you could make an argument to consult and find your land. But, like, how would I tap my mana, right? Like, I want to be able to leave up No More Lies or Get Lost or Lightning Helix. And I think there's no real way to do all of it, right? Because it's like if I draw just a red source, then I can Helix, but then I can't counter. I think missing one land drop here is okay. Especially if our opponent's just on all burn and removal. I think this is a totally fine decision. And they're passing. They're not even trying to replay the dragon. I think that's gotta be a mistake. Now, do we use the catalog on 3 steps ahead, or do we consult and try to... I think because we have teachings, we've already got our late game insurance plan. I think we're just happy to consult for 1 here. I think you could also make a totally fine argument for catalog the 3 steps ahead. I mean, we're for sure taking archive here, but we really are looking for a red source. You could go super greedy and I think take that other Helix. Looking like I kind of wish I would have, but I think we're still happy with this. There's a Helix right there. That should be good. That should be good. All right, I think I like our spot quite a bit. Going for the dragon now. We're just going to go ahead and, even though it's a little more mana efficient than the 3 steps ahead, we're very quickly getting to the stage of the game where No More Lies is going to fall off, so we want to go ahead and get value out of that while we can. Revelation. That can stay, friend. That can stay, I'm pretty sure. And then we're just going to be more incentivized to not play teachings next turn. We're looking to either use our 3 steps ahead or one of our lightning helixes or other removal spells. We are Burst Lightning for 2 damage, and we are doing that to turn on our Raceway. I think we're just okay with that, right? I feel like we should be okay with that. Like, this is going to eventually get turned on, right? I can't really stop it. Yeah, I think that's fine. So now, are we teaching? I think I might just catalog here. Is there anything that I'm going to need to counter desperately that I can't just remove with my spells in hand? I guess then I would have to decide what I'm discarding, and it's probably Day of Judgment, yes. But then that plan is, like, a little scary against, like, a Sunspire Lynx, but I don't know if I'm supposed to play around that being main deck. And even then, I think I have enough life gain. I just want to catalog here. We know that we're drawing the Revelation, and we want to take advantage of the fact that our opponent's on no gas. So I think it's very important to try and make sure we hit our land drops so that we can just win the game very quickly off this Revelation. Totally fine. They probably have another one of these in hand, would be my guess. Do I have any interest in gaining life now? Yeah, I think so. It's like kind of a counter spell. I guess then it's a little awkward if I want to teachings for like a consult to make sure I get the land. But if I go to 6, would I even do that? Because then I could just die to burn, right? And I don't really want to open up that possibility when this is my hand. Yeah, let's... I think 6 is safe enough, with our opponent only drawing up to 2 cards. Just because I have 2 helixes. If I only had 1 helix, I think you might be obliged to fire it off there. Main phase using that. We're pretty satisfied with that. And land. They play out a land, which is interesting, but I kind of think that might have been a mistake because now we can't die to one card in hand, right? So I think that was just a mistake by our opponent because now we can teachings for what I think is going to be a consult to guarantee the 7th land. And now I think we can't lose. Well, that's a little unfortunate. Because I don't really want to pay 2 life. I think we're still fine with the double helix. But that was definitely not really according to plan. I could just pay 4. Or pay 2, go to 4. How greedy is that? I think it's not that greedy. But I'm not going to do it anyways. I think this is just, like, marginally safer. We do not want to know more lies. If our opponent is main phasing their raceway, no more lies is not as dead as it would seem for being at this stage of the game, but I just don't think I need it. Yeah, main phase raceway again. Let's go ahead and pad our life total a little bit. Double get lost. I think we just want to spin the mana. Again, I don't think that's a play I would be particularly happy making if we didn't have double get lost, but return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Let's go ahead and bounce that raceway. 4 to any target. Boom. Probably pretty likely to be game here. I would assume, I mean, stock up into burn spell is lethal, I think. Oh, could I have... Oh, I punted. That was... I could have just flashback teachings for Lightning Helix and won that way. I saw it too late. I was too eager to get stuff done. Alright. Definitely want Beza's here. Do you want Flash Freeze? Generally speaking, I mean, it says red on the card, right? But generally speaking, counterspells are not really your best cards in this kind of matchup. Like, it's always going to be better than No More Lies, so it's... and I guess it's probably pretty unlikely I'm getting all the No More Lies out of my deck. Fire Magic, what did we see threat-wise? We only saw Needlehead and Dragon. We didn't see any other threats. Our opponent's draw was pretty bad. Is this a card you want in this matchup? It's kind of slow, right? But giving your Helix flashbacks is kind of interesting. And then am I interested in Tidebinders for something like Nemesis or more likely Lynx? I kind of don't think so, right? That doesn't sound right to me. Yeah, let's just get some of these clunkier cards out of the deck. Let's see. Almost certainly not a 3 steps ahead matchup. And then I probably just don't want these No More Lies, right? I don't want to lose all my card draw. I think Consult is an instant, so it's fine. 2 stock up should be safe. Maybe I was supposed to cut a teachings here. I could actually see that. Just because it's so slow and doesn't actually create a bunch of cards. Yeah, I'm actually willing to buy that. And then I think we're just chilling with this. Like, yeah, this all makes a decent bit of sense to me. Passage on blue gives us access to Get Lost and No More Lies, but not the Helix. It's a little scary. I think you have to keep it though, right? Can't imagine it's right to throw this hand back. No one drop again, very good for us. Uh, am I passaging on blue now still? It's kind of interesting because if I passage on blue, I lose the ability to Lightning Helix. I feel like I should keep my options open. Leading on Foundry, and then I get the ability to choose which one I want to represent next turn. The Needlehead. Well, that was a very good draw because now we get to represent everything without losing any life. So our sequencing worked out pretty well there. Into Challenger. Into the Challenger. How afraid are we of Challenger? I kind of think not very. I think we're... he doesn't have the land in play, right? If they had the land in play to create a constant source of card advantage, that would be pretty scary. I think as it stands right now, we're pretty happy to just let this be in play. I'm going to want to Helix the Needlehead, and then we'll rumble with the Challenger for a little while, because I really want to represent counter magic for a more pressing issue like a Nemesis or a Lynx or something along those lines. So yeah, let's do that. That makes sense to me. They're just going to crunch. Burst Lightning us in response to net put us at 17, right? Yep. God, Helix is so busted against these decks. Alright, looks like a pretty easy... Let's see... Is it Watery Grave tapped? I have red, I have white, I have blue, or I have blue, white, red that way, so it doesn't actually matter which one I play. Alright. The Hellkite. Yeah, I could do the same play that I did last game and kill the Challenger, take 4, but the way this board is set up, I'm just going to need to answer the Hellkite again anyways. It's probably better to just answer it here and now. Last game when our opponent did that, they were only on 3 mana. This game, they're like, they could just replay it next turn, and I'm just going to pass with untapped mana anyways. I think it just makes a lot of sense to normalize this. It feels a little bad if they have a Lynx in their hand, but I think I'm down to rumble with that. Now, am I ever paying life here? I'm probably supposed to. I'm probably supposed to play life here with the logic being I very much want to double spell. But then it's like kind of annoying, right? Because if I guess I'm more obliged to want to defeat because I really want my next turn play to be able to consult for 4. This is a game where I could consult for 2 and it's totally fine, but I haven't quite pulled ahead fully on cards yet, and the Raceway is about to be online, so I kind of want to make sure that I don't let that get active for free, because you only get speed when I take damage on the opponent's turn. So yeah, I think I'm actually down to pay life here. I want to keep my options open for double spelling. I think double spelling is important this turn. A second Challenger. Okay. So I am going to follow through on the double spell then. And again, the logic here is it prevents his Raceway from being turned on. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, not a bad play by the opponent. They will not be able to play that, thankfully. And then I think we're just going to main phase defeat, so we don't have to deal with the challenger trigger. I think that makes a decent bit of sense to me. And then we give them a one-turn window to draw something like a Lynx. That's going to be really problematic, but I think that's just a slam dunk play. Alternatively, you could just play your tap land and plan to consult. But I think a challenger that is already 3 power, and the fact that it's going to turn on the raceway, and they've got the map, I think that's all enough reasons to just do this preemptively. And then this is a 2 blue, 3 white, 1 black. I guess it's just red. I don't think it really matters all that much. Lynx is the nightmare card here. Burst Lightning is... I mean, we're obviously fine with Burst Lightning. It turns on their Raceway, which is like, meh, but... Alright, and we're just gonna main phase Consult here, because I don't think... you know what, that's actually pretty loose. Yeah, I'm not gonna main phase Consult. I hate missing the land drop, but I want the ability to take 2 spells if need be. And if I take 2... If I play the Consult main phase, I'm kind of forced to take a land, because I would not want to open up the potential to lose to, like, a Lynx. I wouldn't be surprised if opponent concedes here. The match has been pretty demoralizing for them. Yeah, so we're just gonna Revelation land here, I'm pretty sure. I don't see much reason to do anything else. We are not going to need access to all of our mana next turn, so probably just take the Thundering Falls and increase the likelihood that we find our 7th land. Already have it, makes it nice and easy. Don't need that land anymore. And we're chilling. Think it's safe to say our opponent is officially on 0 outs here now. Sure. Chandra. Obviously, if it wasn't kind of like immediately obvious, because I did shortcut through that a little bit, I made the decision where I wanted to just make sure I denied them some value, because even if this was a Lynx, we're only going to 12, and we have, you know, we drew these, but we had the Get Lost already. So I basically just wanted to just close the game out a little bit faster. Pretty happy to just go to 16 here. And we're just going to, let's see, it's crew 1. So yeah. Can I just 6 plus 6, that's 1 point short? So I'm 1 point short of killing them. If I defeat plus Helix them, that looks like that's only 12 damage to me. I could 8. I can pay life for this land, and then does my mana work out to where I can Helix, defeat, and get lost? I would need 4. I think it should, right? I think that should work color-wise. Helix, red, black, white, and then white. Yeah, it works. Okay. So we can just get lost here. Make sure it taps the water array for that, and it does. Boom. Yep. Bah, bah, bah. You love to see it. Was that another case of us? That happened a lot yesterday, too. That was another case of us being 19th, winning, and losing a rank. That's so weird. That is very weird. Alright, I needed to fix something before the different art helixes were bothering me. Alright. Do I just not have 4 of matching? Is that why I did it that way? No, I do, right? I want the boring ones. The boring ones because I'm a boring guy. There we go. Boom, boom. We go again. Lose another die roll. This looks like a snap keep to me if I've ever seen one. Gonna have to probably pay life for one of these lands. We'll get the sequencing. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I think there's just like no way to do it without paying life at some point. I would rather just, especially off of Mortuary, like, my life total probably is not wildly relevant against a Mortuary deck. Do not think I'm interested in Watery Grave here. Probably playing against the Reanimator deck, right? We are playing against the Reanimator deck. Looks like we are pretty aggressively going to need to dodge Cavern of Souls here. Alright, pretty happy to pay life for... Oh. Good mills for us so far. Esper Origins. How do I feel about Esper Origins? I'm not really that I think I'm just down for an Esper Origins. I think you could counter it because it's like they're going to end up playing the 4-mana half of it anyways. Because they don't get a card out of this, all they're doing is, oh wow, double fatty. Double fatty is terrifying. Am I using Consult here? I think so, just because I have Meringue. I already have my turn 4 card advantage spell, so let's go ahead and look at some new cards. Do I want stock up here? I don't think I can afford to take stock up, right? Well, like, I could take stock up, but I just can't play it until turn 5, because there's no world where I'm playing it. Huh. I'm just going to take the Get Lost. I've got enough card advantage, I'm pretty sure. And I want to make sure I have an extra answer to anything that they might just decide to hardcast, because they're for sure playing Esper Origins this turn. Yeah. And it's fine. We'll just let that happen. I think we're more likely to want to preserve No More Lies than Get Lost in this matchup on average. Bink. Opponent's definitely going to want to use the maps on... Oh, we're just casting Overlord. Casting Overlord there is aggressive. Very aggressive. I guess I don't really want him to mill more stuff or have the ability to put in... I guess I don't really care about him picking up an Ardent, but I would be more afraid of what else he could pick up in theory. I think it's just time to burn one of the No More Lies. We get a turn reprieve of not having to deal with him mapping the greeter, so we're still taking a small amount of damage. We've still got the meringue, and this doesn't seem like a game where we're going to be casting the meringue. So I think I'm pretty happy to just consult again and try and make sure we secure our land drop. Yeah, I think that's a... I've already got a black source, right? So it's an archive angle, I think. I don't think I need that land, right? Yeah, I don't think I need that land. And we're really just hoping that our opponent gives us a turn reprieve of not playing a threat we have to counter. Like, if he just went, like, land meringue or land something that doesn't immediately kill us, I would love to just be able to play coil and catch here. Yeah, we're 1000% letting this happen. I'm just going to bait a little bit like I'm thinking about it. Ooh, Awakened is probably going to get milled. That's not very good against us. Just because there's no permanent that you want to kill. I don't think you care. He left it on top. Interesting. Just because he wants the power? No, he must want the card. Because if you wanted the power, you would just map again. Very interesting. Oh, that's awesome for us. So, they're going to coil and catch in response, I assume. Oh, wow. They're going to... Very, very surprising again. Very surprising again. This is probably a discard get lost angle, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Am I ever playing stock up this turn? I don't think so, right? I think it's a just sit on mana angle. I can't quite play the end this turn, so there is going to be some pressure on me to find a black source. But I don't think I need that right away. Now, am I countering this coil and catch? How much do I care about them just going land Spider-Man and then getting an Arden in play? It definitely seems problematic. Yeah, probably just have to let this resolve, unfortunately, and represent this double no more lies that I've got. I don't love it, but I think it's kind of unfortunately where we're at. I certainly do not mind this. The only reason I would no more lies this is just to make sure I get value out of said no more lies. But honestly, I'm chill. I'm just down with this resolving. I think it's better for me to resolve my Kickered Consult here. I think Kickered Consult makes a lot more sense. Opponent gonna have to discard. Looks like. I don't. Oh, maybe they haven't played a land yet. I'm genuinely unsure. Yeah, they just hadn't played a land yet. And now we're playing Scholar. Yeah, I'm just going to rumble with that too. Like, our opponent's obviously putting a board together, but I want to consult here. We've got a sweeper. We've still got plenty of a removal in our deck that we haven't found yet. Revelation looks pretty good. Inevitable Defeat looks pretty good as well. But I'm, like, kind of interested in just taking this, like, Gloom, Lake Verge, Revelation. I think that makes a decent bit of sense to me. And then just pass, and then I guess I'm just taking 8. I don't love that, but I think it's where we're at. Because I certainly do not want to tap out on my opponent's turn. Oh, I guess maybe I'm taking 9. Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but I certainly can't spend my mana before combat. We're just jamming Arden. That can't be right. That has to be a huge mistake by our opponent, I feel like. 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're only maybe trying to do it because they want to take advantage of the I mean, so what happens if I let that resolve, keep a stop, and then I just the end all of them? That's interesting. But I can just do that later, right? It's got to be better to just Revelation now. Revelating just looks so much better. Return, deal 4. Yeah, this just feels so much cleaner. Opponent's going to crunch in for 5. We're happy to go to 10. Yeah. Yeah, we like this. We like this direction now. Opponent discards the Arden that was in their hand. Helix was a fantastic draw. We're obviously like pretty far from lethal, I assume. We could defeat plus Helix them. That would be 18 plus 6, 12. So we can do half their life total. Slightly more because we could also play a Get Lost, but we're obviously not going to do that. Do I need all my mana on tap next turn? I'm pretty obliged to double No More Lies, and then I would really like to play... Nah, I probably just have to pick one. That just means I don't get to defeat next turn, which I think is fine. They're probably pretty likely to just play Awaken on one of my tokens next turn. No, that seems like that would make the most sense to me. I think I'm just going to play the tap land. I don't really want to pay life at the moment. I don't think we need Consult. I've already got stock up for that effect next turn. And then let's go ahead and Helix this Scholar and crunch in for 4. Keeps our life total nice and safe, so we don't have to worry about the mid-range plan. Keeps all of our mana untapped. And then we can look to stock up next turn to refuel for our options. Yeah, that's scary. That is scary, so we're in a lot of danger now. They found the cavern, unfortunately. So we're pretty much on stock up for Day of Judgment now, it seems like. But it keeps the name, right? Exile target, search its controllers for cards with the same name, and it keeps the name. Okay, well, there's nothing that we can do here. He's going to copy Bringer, I assume. Yep. Alright, so now I've got to figure out... I think I'm okay with him going ahead and milling those cards. Set a stop. Except it's a demon. This is the only demon right now. But he has 1 Arden. So, well, I guess I have to let this ability trigger and see what he discards. What I would like to do is the end the Kavairo. Not die to lethal from whatever is allowed to attack because demons have haste. And then stock up into our Day of Judgments. That is what I want to happen. Okay, Craterhoof Behemoth. Well, that probably means I'm not allowed to make that play anymore, unfortunately. That means I'm probably obliged to doing this. I had to do that right before the timer ran out. So now we're only taking 10 from these with haste. Oh, it's almost a shame that I wasn't... Well, it doesn't really matter. Play the end for only 2 mana if I play the Godless Shrine untapped now. Oh, I guess I'm just not taking anything, right, because of Yeah, that's right. I'm not taking anything now because the demons don't have haste. Make sure it taps my mana correctly. It looks like it did. No Day of Judgment, and then I do not have enough mana to find another one. Can I meringue? What's in the graveyard here? One Crater Hoof. Arden. Looks like we're probably cooked. Looks like we're cooked to me for 5? 10. Interesting. 1. I could just jam. I could just jam Meringue and make them do it. Yeah, I'll just jam Meringue and make them do it. That's fine. We are beyond dead here. Beyond dead. Bounce this for sure. And then bounce this, I think. Let them get extra effect out of it. I don't mind. They're just going. I'm tapped out, so they're just going to play Arden, bring back Craterhoof, and we're dead. Or they're not going to do that just because they're going to Caballo. It doesn't matter. We have been defeated this game. Alright, we definitely want Rest in Peace. We definitely want Tidebinder. Tidebinder seems like a slam dunk here. And that's probably it, right? I don't think any of these other cards look particularly exciting. I could imagine a world where the Sphinx is pretty good here as well. Just because they're not going to have removal, right? But then, like, how often am I flashing back? I mean, I guess I would if I had the card in my deck. This is not a Fire Magic matchup, right? I don't think I ever need Fire Magic. Yeah, I'm going to try this. This card is very interesting to me, so I'm definitely willing to try it. Let's get rid of the Fire Magic. Let's get rid of a couple Get Lost. I don't think this is a matchup where Get Lost is wildly important. It doesn't feel like it is. Am I willing to trim a No More Lies now that I've seen Cavern? I think I'm probably more likely to just trim 3 steps ahead. I think they have enough expensive cards in their deck that if they're playing something that isn't Caverned, I think No More Lies is still more likely to get value out of it. And then this way here, I get to keep all my card advantage elements in the deck. I think this makes sense. Oh, I need to cut one more card. This definitely does not seem like a matchup where I want to cut the end. I could see the end on Caballo getting a lot of value here. I think it's probably just another Get Lost. Like, I'm never actually needing... Well, I guess then I could be pretty weak to... It's got to be a Helix, actually. Because I don't want to be just dead to a resolved Esper Origins, right? That makes sense to me. I do think on average Helix is going to be better because, like, you actually want the face element. They both get to interact with Scholar all the same, but... Yep, this hand will work. I just realized, in the middle of doing all my yapping, that having the Sphinx in my deck, as when I'm wanting to be a Rest in Peace deck, is absolutely a nombo. So I will fix that for Game 3 if we get there. But everything else that we did makes a decent bit of sense to me. I do not want to get lost, I do not believe. Yeah, no real reason to do anything else. Untap land, sit on my spells. Town Greeter is fine. Don't hit Cavern, please. Oh, man. Let's go ahead and archive. I do not want that passage. And send her on back. If I knew that my draw step was going to be a meringue, I would have just played consult probably. But dems the breaks. I'm not worried about a Caviro yet, so let's go ahead and counter this. It's a good draw. Probably just passaging on black here, I think. And pretty much just always playing one of our card draw spells. I don't think there's anything that our opponent can play this turn that we desperately care about resolving. Interesting. So, I have options here. I could just normalize the duress. I'm almost certainly not doing that. I could consult in response to guarantee 2 cards, which is probably what I'm going to do. Then they get their option of all of the cards that I have access to, even after consulting. But I think I care more about the raw card counts than the card quality here, because all of my cards are going to be pretty good, I think. I guess that's not true if I find a Rest in Peace, right? Rest in Peace would be the reason that I would not agree with that decision. Yeah, I mean, Rest in Peace is the only punish here, but I think raw card count still matters a lot. Well, we did find Rest in Peace. It's a little annoying, but I think we still take it because we don't really have any ways to shuffle our deck, right? So the Rest in Peace, either we take it or it's just going to be on the bottom anyways. We're never going to find it. And then I think we want the second copy of No More Lies here. Obviously, we don't know what's in their hand, right? But at immediate glance, it looks like we would have been much happier letting them take our consult and then just playing Coil and Catch afterwards. But like I said, we lose a raw card count that way, and I think this play is, even though it didn't work out for us, I think this play is still significantly better. Am I ever needing to double No More Lies next turn? I think the answer to that is no. Oh, our opponent missed a land drop last turn. Nice. Oh, but then they caverned. You hate to see it. I'm probably just obliged to counter this now, right? They're digging for lands. They're going to get the card off the Origins anyways. It feels bad, but I don't think I can just wait and defeat this later. Especially now that they're showing us Cavern. If they didn't show us Cavern, I think I would be willing to rumble with that. But now that they've got the Cavern, we just want to make sure we get value out of these. No More Lies, I'm pretty sure. Play our 6 land on tap. That way we can coil plus No More Lies here. Try and start pulling ahead. Maybe try to find a revelation and close the game out. Bink. Second Rest in Peace is good. Second Rest in Peace is very good. Probably just keeping the second Black Source, right? I think keeping the second Black Source makes a lot of sense. Alright. Running pretty hot on that one. Finding the second Rest in Peace and the top 19 cards. I think I'm down to just let this resolve, right? Maybe that's not... Yeah, I'm down to just let this resolve. It's just a 2-for-1. It's like a little annoying if they play another human that I care about, and I will have wished that I just countered something. But I think this turn I'm likely enough to just want to kick my consult that this is a fine way to go about the game. Ah, I see. That's what they're doing. We still got pretty good value. We didn't get any of the fatties, but we got some raw card counts. Looking back, that I don't know, was I supposed to play around this? How do I play around it? I would just have to have card counters in my deck, right? Yeah, maybe that was a mistake on my end, actually, now that I'm second glancing at everything. That's all good. I think we still are in a totally fine spot here. The end is pretty good. It's just for sure the end. Stock up. Drawing a land there is totally fine. Am I ever sitting on the end? I am, right? Because that lets me play all my cards, right? Yeah, I can play all my cards that way. There's the Revelation, and then there's the 3 steps ahead. I think those are our target cards. We don't need to get lost for anything. I don't think we care about letting them mill cards this turn. Yeah, I mean, their mill would have to be pretty spectacular for us to get got by a Spider-Man this turn. So I think we're pretty happy with that. And then I never need 5 mana, right? I think I never need 5 mana, because the only thing that would require 3 mana would be 3 steps ahead. And that's double blue anyways. I've only got 2 blue. And there's never a world where I need to 3 steps ahead plus Helix, right? I don't think so. I think I can just play that tapped. Alright, that's a totally reasonable mill for both players. They're happy to get some stuff in the graveyard. I'm just happy that it's none of the crazy OP monsters. They are jamming Kaviro, and they are very likely going to target Overlord, which is fine. We are going to very happily end of turn the Kaviro and get all of those out of here. And then we're going to want to make sure we close the game out, because we only have 13 minutes left. I be yapping instead of playing. Bink. Bink. And I think hand, graveyard, I think the other one's already exiled, right? One, two, three, four. Perfect. 4, 7, 9. And then they can land or creature, so they could pick up the Overlord, but I don't care about that. Alright, we should be good here, fam. We should have all of our bases covered here. Pretty easy Revelation to me. Return. Deal 4. Out of here. I'm not interested in your shit. Not a bad draw, considering. 4, 9, just infinite mana. I guess I don't have to Helix them this turn. But then, like, I don't really want to use my counterspell on the Awaken either. That's, like, kind of annoying. Oh, that's good. Do I just dump that in the graveyard? Probably, right? Yeah, let's dump that in the graveyard. That way, if I don't yeah, let's dump that in the graveyard. If they play Meringue to bounce our tokens, we'll definitely counter that. Yeah, I thought that might be what they did. I'm happier that they're doing that for sure, because I think Awaken would have been a more annoying play for me to deal with. Bink. And then, do they die to double Helix? They don't have any permanents, right? So if I double Helix, they're at 12. My things are 3. Yeah, that looks like that's not enough. I'm probably just taking another Revelation. I mean, I can't lose to anything, right? It would have to be some weird amalgam of things that I would eventually just want a Tidebinder. Maybe I'm just supposed to take Tidebinder here. But that can't possibly be right. I have to take a way to draw more cards and grow my guys. Yeah, there's just no way. It just has to be Consult here. My hand is good enough. I have answers to everything. Did I get back to... No, so we're just taking Tidebinder for sure. And then the other card I think just literally doesn't matter, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I already played my land the turn. I'll just take another Teachings just so we can't miss. 4, 3, 5, 6, 7. Do I ever need... See, I actually do potentially need all my mana, so I don't want to Helix this turn. We'll just win the game next turn with Helix. Find another Helix off Teachings, sit on our untapped mana. Yeah, this is not going to work, friendo. They only have the 1 mana on tap, so we'll just let this resolve, and then we'll Tidebinder the ability. Bye-bye, buddy. Bye-bye. And then 8, 7, 1 point short, so we just bink. Bink. All right. Just under 10 minutes. Should be good. Should be good on time. All right, so I definitely do not want this card in my deck when I'm doing the Rest in Peace thing. I probably don't need both Teachings either. I think 1 Teachings is fine because, obviously, if the Rest in Peace is staying in play, I'm pretty happy about that. And I think the modality of being able to go get the end, in addition to any of my other cards, is, like, pretty valuable. So we're going to leave that all the same. Is this a world... I mean, so do I just want my hard counters then? Like, maybe I just want 3 steps ahead as a way to always protect my Rest in Peace. That's kind of what I'm looking at now. I could do the same with Flash Freeze, maybe, and it's a little more efficient. But then, like, I can imagine the world where if I do Flash Freeze over 3 steps ahead, I run into this really lame problem of, like, not being able to counter Meringue, not being able to counter any of, like, the Overlords or just random black demons. So I think I don't like that strategy. Let's just do the 3 steps ahead for sure. And then is it the Flash Freeze in addition to that? Or is it... I think it's not Negate. Negate doesn't feel like it counters enough. Maybe it's just supposed to be the Get Lost. It's definitely not the Helix. Yeah, maybe it's just the Get Lost to make sure that I don't lose to, like, an Esper Origins. But I just don't care about 1-for-1ing the creatures, though. Alright, I've decided it's not going to be Get Lost. I have enough removal. It's going to be one of the counter spells. Flash Freeze or Negate. Flash Freeze or Negate. It's got to be Flash Freeze, right? Can counter, like, the random Town Greeters. Counters the removal as well. It could just be the second Mystical Teachings also, but that just seems so mana inefficient. Let's go Flash Freeze. It's not good. It's certainly not good. But maybe it's... Yeah, it's probably just supposed to be the Mystical Teachings. Double Rest in Peace, but no lands. We will be sending this one back, unfortunately. This hand is better. It's not good. We don't need the defeat. And let her rip. Definitely do not want that Get Lost. We are just praying for some lands. praying for some Landos. Man. Our opponent has had Town Greeter all 3 games. You hate to see it. Oh my god, they got Cavern. Oh, buddy, we are in danger. We are in danger. Oh, we're just beyond dead. The mulligan got us. Mulligan into 2 lands, and then, yep, dead. You hate to see it. Just gonna copy Arden, yeah. Land, land, land. Tough. Tough business. Alright. Unfortunately, the Day of Judgment would have been a nice card to have the way that this game is looking, but can't not take the land, of course. Jamming Overlord seems like a really good play. Just keep adding things to the board that recoup themselves, basically. Not that it really mattered what I drew here. We were pretty much always losing, but they get to draw the card off that. Yep, that'll do it. They got us. They got us good. They got us good. We go again. We've lost all 3 die rolls. The game is so brutal. It hates us. It hates us so much. Okay. Duress pretty good here. I almost... Assuredly, they're just going to take our No More Lies. It's got to be the scariest card. Swamp Duress. That probably just means it's like Mono Black Demons, right? That would be my guess right off the rip. I'm surprised they're taking this long. If I'm right about them being Mono Black Demons, I can't imagine either one of the removal spells are as important as a No More Lies. Maybe the opponent sees it differently. They're certainly deep in the tank on turn 1. Bink. Fire Magic. Yeah, I think it's hard to justify Fire Magic when I don't exactly know what they're playing, but also Fire Magic tends to not be very good against the black aggro deck because they just have, like, you know, Cecils and things that have pretty big toughness usually. Just realized you guys can't see the hand. So we'll do this. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. Hopefully that didn't affect any of the other games that we were playing. Do I care about sitting on Get Lost? I think I do. I want to be able to Get Lost the thing if they play it. I don't need the black sources this turn. If they were to play a an annex, I would be really interested in get losting it immediately. Oh, that doesn't really work either, does it? You can't see my lands. What if I just go up here, maybe? Nope. There's got to be somewhere I can go. Maybe it's just here. There we go. That should be fine, yeah? I don't think that covers anything. They're really just passing? They've got nothing? Oh, buddy, that is good news for us. They came to the tournament with nothing? Alright, so I think common instinct would be to just play the Thundering Falls here, but I kind of like the ability to at least represent. I don't think I need to surveil this turn for any particular thing. I think I kind of have all the tools that I need to win the game. And I want to at least be able to represent the end next turn if, for some reason, they play something that I would like to use that card on. There is the annex, and we are going to do exactly what we said we were going to do. We are for sure going to get lost it. We do not want our opponent drawing extra cards. I've been on the side that I suspect our opponent is on very, very often, which is it feels really, really bad. There's no way I end this, right? It's like marginally annoying because then it gets to start attacking us and he could get a card out of it. But taking my no moralized mana down seems incorrect. I would be pretty surprised if our opponent had a threat this turn, yeah, because they passed with 2 mana earlier in the game, and they've drawn lands and other pieces of interaction since then, so. Oh, I'm glad it did not automatically take that. I almost got punished for spam clicking. I just want a consult here for sure. I think this is a slam dunk consult spot. I'm not in a rush to remove the demon wall. We've got the end if they end up not playing another threat, but we need to make sure we keep the cards flowing. Pretty good draw. Never need 5 mana this turn. It's a little awkward, but should be good enough. Pretty happy to take another 5 here and consult just to make sure that we keep hitting our land drops for this revelation. Maybe find some cheaper interaction. That way we can double and triple spell to make sure that we don't fall behind and not get to use all of our resources. But yeah, I would say things are going very well. Yeah, we've already got a removal spell for that. The consult is going to deliver something, so I'm down to let that resolve. I don't feel like we have to no moralize that. Hmm. That is kind of scary, though. It's getting there. It's getting scary. It's getting there. I really don't want this no moralized. Maybe I'm supposed to just take the secure the seventh land. I think securing the seventh land makes a decent bit of sense to me. Was really hoping for a cheap removal spell. Well, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. So am I going to 8 here? I go to 8 and I double removal spell. And then I go to 6 with Revelation. That's probably good enough, right? That probably makes a decent bit of sense. Yeah, let's do that. Alternatively, I could just Helix this. No, then that only puts me to 8. If I go to 13 and then take that 5, so I still don't get to play the end for free. Yeah, let's just go to 8 and send it. My play would be different, I think, if I didn't already have access to the 7th land. I think having access to Revelation next turn is very important. But since we already have that, I don't think there's a lot of pressure on me to consult. You may have it back. And then let's go ahead and end this, right? Am I willing to go to 6? Maybe I should be willing to go to 6. Oh, because then I get to go to 4 and potentially the end for 2. I guess that's not actually that good, though. It's a little annoying. Yeah, I think we just the end, actually. Demon Wall is not the thing that you want to the end, right? I would rather the end literally anything else, but... Alright, so... That's Graveyard, Library, and then Hand. Okay. Their hand is pretty good. They have this burn spell. I'm definitely glad that we didn't play with our life total. And then destroy target creature sorcery. Yeah, I can live with all that. Yeah, I think we're fine. This is... If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice. So that does not affect this, which means if I were to do nothing, it would just be... I go to 9 and then I go to 5? That's fine, right? And then if they did this, it doubles twice, so it would be 4/8. So I'm not dead to any of that without being forced to Revelation, which is very good. So I think we're chilling. And then our opponent is just like so far away from double spelling, so I think we're pretty happy with this outcome. Like, I think our opponent's best play is exactly what they decided to do, which is, I think, just not play anything pre-combat. And then I'm just, like, pretty happy to go to 5 here, I think. They've got to play something, right? I mean, they could not play anything, but that wouldn't get them anywhere, because all their stuff is sorcery speed. Playing Annex feels like that has to be... probably the worst decision, just because it gives me full information now. But ultimately, I think all the same stuff happened, so it doesn't really matter. I think they were probably just supposed to deny me the information, though, if I'm being honest. Probably just paying life again. I think having the 8th mana is really important, so I can Teachings plus No More Lies, or consult into cheaper answers. Like, as long as I... They're still not double spelling, so as long as I, like, make sure I don't get Pompous out or anything, I don't really see a world where this goes poorly. I think I want more blue sources in play, though. Finally drew their land. They still only get to play one spell, of course, unless they want to play the Fell, which is... I mean, they probably do, right? Like, they're not going to get to play it on anything else. Which means, realistically, their best play this turn is probably, like, Annex into Fell. That would make a decent bit of sense to me. They're just jamming the Alkalites. Yeah. We're gonna counter that because I think our plan is pretty clean. I think we are just going to teachings up another revelation, and that's gonna be the ball game. I do not think we are losing with that. Am I ever leaving a blocker back? Like, I'm just not, right? I just don't care. Maybe I care a little bit. Fell plus, because they still only get the one spell, so the bounce is, like, really valuable. Maybe I attack for one and bait them to playing the fell pre-combat. I actually like that. I actually like making them play the fell pre-combat. Because they're going to play the fell pre-combat, and then we can just let it happen. And then, yeah, we can just let this happen, and then we can bounce deal 4 to them. Or I could make them spend their whole turn. That's actually, like, marginally better, I think. Bounce, deal 4, and then this is not a demon, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I think this is, like, marginally better. Bounce this, deal 4 to this. Go up to 11. If they want to resolve Annex, they can. They're just going to die. If I teachings for Helix, are they dead? 12, 15, and then I have enough mana to chart as well, so yes. Deep Cavern Bat. Marginally annoying because they're not dead anymore, but I could still kick Consult and find Helix. Get Lost. Well, they're probably actually going to take Get Lost now that I'm looking at it, right? No. I think that was the right decision. But I think they actually are dead, right? I think I counted incorrectly. So if I Get Lost this, and then Teachings for Helix, that's 16. That's 3 spells, and then I've Helixed them? Yeah, they're for sure dead. For sure dead. Bink. Alright. Mono Black Demons. Mono Black Demons. What do you need against Mono Black Demons? We did not see anything out of the ordinary. We didn't see any Cecils or anything like that. They did have bats. But bat is not enough of a reason to want fire magic. All of their other creatures are just gigantic toughness. I don't really think it's a Beza matchup either. I think this matchup hinges on Annex. I think Annex is really important in this matchup. Are they going to board out all the removal? Can I get away with bringing the Sphinx in? That would be really cool. I still want to try it. I still want to try it. Tidebinder can counter an Annex trigger, can counter a Bat trigger, can counter an Elegy trigger, a Pompous trigger. It's not terrible, but I don't really want a bunch of creatures in my deck. I also, so I know I don't want Fire Magic. Fire Magic is a dead card. I think every other card in my deck is actually pretty good. So I really only need to add one card. Just like, what's the best one card to add here? And my gut instinct is it's probably Robbery or Sphinx. I could imagine a world where it's Tidebinder, but I think Tidebinder is like pretty low impact. I don't think they're relying on any of their triggers or anything. Could just be a negate, but then I would be afraid that the only target is Annex, and I definitely do not want that in my deck if that's the case. I'm just gonna test out the Sphinx. It looks like a fun card. I want to see it in play. Oh, well, we don't get to test it with this hand, unfortunately. Easy mulligan. This will do. Probably have to passage on white, but we get to falls first, so we at least get more time. And then this is probably a put stock up back angle. It's stock up or 3 steps ahead. And my gut instinct is that it's stock up. We've already got consult to recoup our cards. It's like a little annoying if we miss on lands, but I think with Thundering Falls and being on the draw, missing on lands is pretty unlikely. And I value all of our stuff being instant speed. Stock up, obviously, incredibly powerful, but yeah, I like valuing having all of our stuff come in at instant speed. Not a good start. Missed on land with both the falls and our draw step. What is this? Unless they discard a non-land? Well, I'm discarding a non-land, alright. You can be assured of that. It's just gotta be the defeat, unfortunately. It's like a little annoying if I'm gonna give them a million maps, but it is what it is. Am I ever paying life for this? Like, I am, right? Because even if they play something like a slasher, I need to get lost at. It's a little annoying, but I think it must be done because if they... I really want to be able to sit on 3 steps ahead next turn. Yeah, that was basically worst case scenario, unfortunately. So it's like I get lost at now, or I wait, get lost on their turn, and I don't have counterspell mana up. Or alternatively, I could just not get lost it and take 10, right? Because I would go to 16 and then 8. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities, but I'm probably just supposed to get lost it. It buys me 1 turn, 2 turns of no attacks. That's probably good enough. I certainly don't love it, especially when we're already on a mulligan, but I think it's too important to... Oh, well, see, now I don't even have to give them a million maps. Now I actually have a second removal spell. Yeah, I'm just gonna pay the life here, and if they map before doing anything else, that's just a good play on the opponent's part. They're doing this. Interesting. Yeah, like... So they always get to take the 3 step ahead no matter what. So, like, now I'm kind of thinking, like, how annoyed am I if I let this resolve and they take Helix? And then just try to map the slasher. I'm pretty annoyed in that setting, too, right? Yeah, I think you just gotta let this resolve. That duress is very, very good here, of course. I think 3 steps ahead is the card that they're most likely to take. They're hovering Consult. I could see Consult, too. If they don't have a way to grind out, I mean, it's just a 2-for-1. Assuming I eventually draw my 4th land, which you know I will at some point. There's no way you take Get Lost, I don't think. I think that's the... I mean, again, I don't know the makeup of their hand. Yeah, I think taking 3 steps ahead makes the most sense. But then they really want to follow this up with an important card, right? Because you don't want to look at this hand and then just try to map. Another slasher is really tough. Another slasher is so tough. Alright, now we probably have to... Yeah, second slasher is real bad for us. Probably just have to permakill the other slasher, right? And just find a way to make it work. It certainly doesn't feel good, friends. That land is good, so 17, 15, 7. So we're just going to take 12 damage between our land and combat. I think it's got to be done. I think it's got to be done. I, again, don't know exactly what the makeup of our opponent's hand is, but I think that there's no way they should map the Slasher. The Slasher's too big of a threat already. They should save the maps, I think, for, oh, they're just going Alkalite. Yeah, this is not good. We're so dead. We are so, so dead. So, I mean, I just have to... I don't even want to consult now, is the problem. We are just so dead. What are my options? I can consult into Day of Judgment as, like, my best comeback mechanic here. I could find a defeat for the Slasher, which would mean I would want to have killed... I mean, whatever I do, I have to use my life total as a resource. And then it's just a matter of... Do I deny both of us? I mean, I'm just supposed to consult for 2 mana now, right? That's so tough. Yep. And then... I probably have to consult first now, because I need to know if I find a permanent answer to Slasher, or if I find a Day of Judgment, because I get lost a different target based on that answer. That's fine, we're just doing this now. Yeah, we just found nothing. No love. It's got to be the counterspell, I assume. And then I have to get lost something. I just have to get lost the Alkalite, right? Looks like it's a discard, get lost Alkalite angle to me. It's like, if I get lost the Slasher, I'm not even really making any headway on my life total because the Alkalite is just putting so much power on the board. Oh yeah, we're dead. GG, opponent. You got us good. You got us real good. I think the boarding plan still makes sense. You could make an argument that Beza is just better if they're going to play the game that way, right? It blocks Slasher. Probably doesn't ever put tokens into play, but it's like, maybe I draw a card off of it. Like, especially with me being on the play, right? I think Beza is more likely to be a card I'm interested in having when I'm on the play, because I might just be a little more likely to draw a card off of it. And it's going to be more consistently good. The Sphinx may not end up doing anything. Another mulligan. This deck has not been good to us. Wow. And then just 6 lands teachings. I mean, I know if I keep this hand, what's going to happen, right? The teachings is going to get duressed, and we're going to just, like, never draw a spell. But I don't really think mulling to 5 on the play is a very good strategy. Because then it's just so easy to be resource light and not even have lands. At least this way, like, every time I draw a Meringue or a Stock Up or a Consult, we're live. Got all my colors situated right, so it's just like lead on Foundry. Yeah. It's a shame none of these are even Surveil lands. Even a Surveil land here could have made a massive difference. Yep. Knew that was going to happen. Never had a doubt, baby. Never had a doubt. That's funny. Well, I mean, in this game, the teachings was only ever probably going to get a 2-for-1 anyway, so let's discard it and hope that we draw gas. Saboteur. Saboteur is a pretty good card. We haven't seen that all match. If I knew that they had Saboteurs and Bats, I would have had some amount of interest in maybe having the Fire Magic in my deck. White, red, black. Sure, I've got all the necessary colors. Reasonably content going to 16 here. Not going to be an Alkalite because they would have played that pre-combat. They would have played the Bloodletter pre-combat. Could be a pass activate Sanctuary angle. Could be a post-combat Annex. I could see that. I would for sure inevitable defeat the Annex. What else could they be thinking about playing post-combat? That's really strange. They should, I mean, ultimately it's not going to matter, right? Because the same thing will have happened. But I think not playing that pre-combat is, like, just pretty much can't be right. Okay, that's good information to have for the future. Play this tapped, and then we have access to teachings next turn if we want it. Our life total is, like, not particularly low, so we're feeling okay. Come on, just animate Sanctuary one time. Sanctuary one time, baby. We would love that. What is it? Alkalite? Alkalite would suck. Whatever our opponent is doing. Oh, it's Slasher. Yeah, Slasher kind of sucks for us too, honestly. Just because it doesn't permanently answer it, but I guess it... 2 stun counters gives us time. Oh, that sucks. Oh, no. No, 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 no. We have to get rid of the Revelation, don't we? This fucking card, man. I mean, it's all because we mulliganed. We just, like, have had really, really poor draws this match. I mean, there's no world where I can get rid of the Judgment, right? I just take too much damage. I just take way too much damage. Yeah, it's just gotta be the Revelation. Damn it. That feels so bad. It's an interesting draw. I have a permanent answer to the Slasher. I'm probably supposed to do that, right? Tough. Don't have to do it now, of course, because I just have to do it at some point before the stun counter would be removed. Keep a little bit of hidden information. Oh my god, dude! These slashers are just beating the brakes off of us. Christ almighty. Yeah. And then he's just going to activate the other talent. These talents, I do not think that these talents are supposed to be good against us. But we are just drawing so poor. We've drawn no card advantage in any of these games. That's wild. Alright, so yep, gotta let that happen. And then we're going to go to 12 probably. Because I'm probably like obliged to, again, permanently kill this, right? But, God, that's so tough. What happens if I kill this Slasher instead, and I go to 12 from the triggers here, and then I just try to, like, teachings up a Revelation? Like, that's probably not good enough, right? But I don't think anything's good enough. I mean, if I kill this Slasher, and I try to teachings, then I'm just dead to combat, right? Because I'm at 12, and then I go to 10, 5, and then I'm at 1. Like, I'm not winning the game doing that either. It's really, really problematic. And then it's 1 or, right? So, yeah, just gotta play it on this slasher and pray. I mean, inevitable defeat isn't nothing, but... Best case scenario for us is just, like, opponent animates Sanctuary and attacks for 3. Oh, man, it's tough. Tough, tough, tough. We probably are going to get our other revelation if target opponent loses half their life rounded up. Okay, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. Now we teaching so we don't take damage from talent this turn. And I think we just... It could be... There's no world it's the other teachings, right? It's just got to be the revelation. Because I have to defeat the slasher next turn. It's just got to be revelation. And if I don't draw a land, that means I'm drawing maybe a weighted double spell. And that's like worst case scenario. That's for sure the worst card in our deck, honestly. Oh. At least we are presumably not taking damage from talent again. That's something. That's something, alright. Taking the revelation, definitely greedy, but I just don't see any other way where we realistically get back into the game is the problem. I don't see the vision for just taking, like, another teachings or a consult or anything. It's, like, obviously very annoying if our opponent was, like, slow rolling duress or another hand disruption spell, but wow. Just playing the Alkalite, and we actually are gonna get value. That's pretty crazy. I mean, we have to... We just have to no-moralize it, right? I no-moralize it. We defeat the slasher. We go to 9. We take 4, go to 5. And then we just pray that the top card of our deck is a land that can come into play untapped. I really don't like playing Magic that way, but I don't think it's better to no-moralize this and sit on inevitable defeat, right? Because it's like I go to 4 and then 2 and then I don't take damage from the talent, but that doesn't even seem better to me. Oh, no, this doesn't work. No, 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 this doesn't work. Oh, wait, yeah, it does. Yeah, because it goes to 5. I was thinking I was going to be at 2, and I wouldn't even be able to play an untap land because I would have to pay life for it. Land? I mean... I have to play it, right? I'm dead if I don't play it. But I basically, it's not even a life gain card because I just take the 4 damage right back from the talents. I wish that land was already in play so I could have made a treasure. That would have been really nice. I mean, our opponent has full information, so hopefully they're not slow rolling us. Yeah, I wouldn't consider that a slow roll. That's fine. I mean, it should have already been in play, obviously, but I mean, it's obviously a forced decision because now I have to block. Land, 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 untap land. All right, we're not dead yet, friends. Not dead yet. Am I ever willing to go to 1? There's just no way, right? It just doesn't accomplish anything. Yeah, going to 1 just doesn't accomplish anything. So, are we bouncing, dealing 4 here? Or are we bouncing, dealing 4 here? That's probably better, because I can actually block this thing. I'm definitely never bouncing one of these. Yeah, let's bounce the Sanctuary and deal 4 here. No, no. We fought so hard, and it looks like it may not end up mattering. Uh-huh. We need a card draw spell desperately. Man, it's a shame that that's our last revelation. Alright, so it's... I don't even know what this does. Oh, what a draw. Alright, whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses a life. Wow. Okay. That seems like... Isn't that anti-synergy with this? For each opponent who has 1 or fewer... That seems like really bad anti-synergy to me. But what do I know? Alright, well, we're definitely kicking this. Not even a question. Okay. Okay. I see the vision. I see the vision. I certainly don't care about these anymore because I have enough cards in my hand to not have to worry about that. It's just got to be like defeat plus another card draw spell, and then it's just a matter of which card draw spell is better. I think we've reached the stage of the game where it's just another consult, right? Yeah, like, it's so many more cards to look at than stock up. And then I'm not attacking, right? Like, I think I'm very happy to let this happen. I'm not misunderstanding anything, am I? Because then that makes the talents just so far away. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Oh, I could just defeat his thing and attack. That might actually be better. They puts him to 5, and then I'm in no danger of dying to Sanctuary, plus it denies him a top deck. That's actually just really, really good. I like that way better. I think that making it to where my opponent now only gets 1 card is very strong. And then we've got to be a pretty big favorite to just... Whoa! Okay, I thought he drew 2 cards for a second. Yeah, we've got to be a very big favorite to close from this spot. Very big favorite. Crunches in for 3, puts us to 8. Yeah, I mean, as long as he didn't draw, like, a 3rd talent or something completely obnoxious. Annex would be fine. Oh, baby. I mean, that's just it right there. Don't even have to play the Consult. 2, and then I can... Yep, don't even have to play the Consult. Oh, it's non-land. Never mind. Well, it still doesn't matter, right? But I should still Consult first now. 4/4? Yeah, I should Consult. Technically, I shouldn't kick it. I actually think I'd probably, like... There could be a world potentially where things go wrong because I kicked that, but... White... Red... White, red... Oh, but I have this Verge, so that doesn't work. So I have to take, like... I've only got the red, white, plus Get Lost. So it's Helix, Get Lost. And then it's this. Hi-ya! Let's go! Let's go! Jeskai Revelation. Turns out it's a fucked up card. Pretty fucked up. Alright. Well, friendos, we played 1 less match than what has been our trajectory. Usually we've been playing 4 matches, but I think we're going to call it there at 3. These games are just quite a bit longer. Like, I think it took longer. This video would probably be longer with 3 matches because of the deck that we were playing. than 4 matches with either of the other decks. So I think we're going to call it there. Go ahead and move this back for now, and then I'll tinker with that, so I know that that won't be a problem for the next video. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Hopefully, you guys had a good stay. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy yourself, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. All of that stuff helps quite a bit. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.